Yeah, no, we'll do. Okay, so the cue card today is describe an occasion when you used a map.
Yes.
You should say when you used the map, where you were, why you used the paper map, and explain how you felt about the experience.
Yes.
Right. Are you ready?
Yes. Was born to be ready.
Okay, you have born ready, baby. All right, and you have 2 minutes in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Right, okay. So while living in this digital era, people only use paper maps once in a blue moon and primarily just on city escapes when they give you one at the hotel you are staying at. And I am no exception. This topic reminds me of the one and only occasion I used the paper maps, which was in Japan last year. So I cast my mind back during my stay in Japan when I was bouncing around the cities of Osaka, Nara, Kobe, and Kyoto. I always grab a lot of travel brochures whenever I explore each city. You know, the kind of double-sized travel brochure which folds out and has attractions on one side and a map on the other. 9 times out of 10, those kinds of travel brochures are incredibly useful and it's very handy and convenient to use, especially when you are traveling in a new country for only a short time. As SIM cards can be quite costly, so you normally have to rely on stealing someone's Wi-Fi. But again, that can prove a little difficult at times if you are on a budget, as you had to pay for something to get the code. I feel like Japan really knows how to boost their tourism industry as they pay attention to details in delighting customer satisfaction everywhere, maps included. Despite me feeling a little bit clumsy navigating the paper maps, as I have been so used to Google Maps for such a long time, I found their paper maps to be very user-friendly and helpful. I use the paper map a lot in Kyoto as it's in quite a mountainous area where internet access can be quite hard to find. Thankfully, I got us to all the places we needed to go and we all had a whale of a time in Japan, despite getting a bit lost on more than one occasion. As the saying goes, not all those who wander are lost. So, looking back, it was quite a nice experience, to be honest. I don't see my future self using more paper maps much, but for me personally, paper maps can do wonders when you are totally in a new place without the internet. Thank you.
All right, lovely. So we went over time a little bit.
Yeah.
2 minutes and 19 seconds.
Oh, that's a lot.
So we can just kind of trim that down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Pronunciation was is near perfect. A couple of just grammar mistakes, just because I think when you're trying to read within the time frame, it's quite easy to slip up on a few words and replace words with other words. So, besides a couple of grammar mistakes, it's pretty good, to be fair. There's one phrase you said SIM cards, but then you went. I don't know how you pronounce cards, but I remember I flagged it, so I was like, okay, so SIM cards.
What do you mean by you flag it? You flag it.
I flagged it.
So
like if you if you notice something and you put it on like an agenda to like talk about later, you flag it.
Right.
Oh, it flagged up, or like an email, you flag your emails. So yeah, it flagged up. So yeah, that was what I meant by that. So yeah, just kind of SIM cards was the main thing, and then it was just after that, it was just kind of just a few grammatical errors, just because we were reading fast and then trying to keep in the allotted time. So it makes sense.
Right. Okay. So we need to trim those. I feel like. Okay. Let me see. So I feel like the introduction is quite long. Introduction is quite long.
I really don't think we need to say any of this either.
Where are you talking about?
This part. I feel like Japan really knows how to boost their tourism industry.
Right.
Like, I don't think we need to say that at all, and I think that would be okay now.
And also, I feel like do we really need to say that, because I guess used to read Google Maps for a long time? Do we really need to talk about that?
Despite me feeling a little clumsy navigating the map, maybe you can just say, as I'm so used to Google Maps, as I'm so used to using Google Maps.
I don't think we need for such a long time as well. Yeah, and also the introduction. I don't think we need to say when they give you one at the hotel you're staying. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
or even just like when they give you one at the hotel.
Yeah.
Because that's usually where you get the brochures, isn't it? It's hotel rooms.
But we
like
didn't.
Hotel lobbies and stuff.
I know, but we didn't mention brochure here, right? We say paper maps. So, do we need to say when they give you one at the hotel? Like, do we need to say have that line? It's very long line though on City Escapes. Paper map once in a blue moon.
No, we don't need to. You're right.
Yeah, we don't need. And I'm no exception. This topic reminds me, and then blah blah blah, bouncing around. Grab,
occasionally.
whenever, double sit, guys a brochure and it's handy. Traveling to new short can be quite costly. Normally have to stew again. I use a paper map. Do I need to list all of the cities that I visited in Japan, like Osaka, Nara, Kobe, and Kyoto?
I think we've taken quite a lot out now. I think we might be okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just say during my stay in Japan when I was bouncing around the popular cities.
Yes, because otherwise, like.
Yeah.
Popular,
bouncing
right?
around.
Do we need to say the, or we just say popular cities? Bouncing around.
Bouncing around the popular cities, yeah, the.
Right, okay, right. That's lovely. Then it should be 2 minutes, right? That should be 2 minutes. Yeah, that's great.
I reckon so. Should we have another go?
Right, okay. Yeah, I have another go, and then to perfect it.
Okay, cool.
Yes, right.
All right, let's do it. Ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
Right, so while living in this digital era, people only ever use paper maps once in the blue moon and primarily just on city escapes, and I'm no exception. This topic reminds me of the one and only occasion when I used a paper map, which was in Japan last year. If I cast my mind back during my stay in Japan when I was bouncing around the popular cities, I always grabbed a lot of travel brochures whenever I explore each city. You know, the kind of double-sided travel brochure which folds out and has attractions on one side and a map on the other. So 9 times out of 10, those kind of travel brochures are incredibly useful and it's very handy and convenient to use, especially when you are traveling in a new country for only a short time, as SIM cards can be quite costly. You normally have to rely on stealing someone's Wi-Fi. But again, that can prove a little difficult at times when you are on a budget, as you have to pay for something to get the code. So despite me feeling a little bit clumsy navigating the paper map, as I'm so used to using Google Maps, I found that paper maps to be very user-friendly and helpful. I use the paper map a lot in Kyoto as it's quite in a mountainous area where internet access can be quite hard to find. Thankfully, I got us to all the places we needed to go, and we had a whale of a time in Japan, despite getting a bit lost on one more than occasion. As the saying goes, not all those who wander are lost, so looking back, it was quite a nice experience to be honest. I don't see my future self using more paper maps much, but for me personally, paper maps can do wonders when you are in a totally new place without the internet. Thank you.
Nice. 1 minute and 52 seconds.
That's great. There's one line that I feel like we don't even need to have, like where's that? Where's that? My God, I'm have to rely, but again, but again, it can prove a little difficult at times, either on a budget. Okay, I'm not so far. I use a paper map quite well. Internet I said, yeah. Thankfully, I got us all to the places we needed to go. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, sorry, I just overthink. Right? What do you think?
That's alright, no worries. Yeah, no, I think it's cool. All right, I've got a few things. So, double-sided.
Double-sided.
Yeah, double-sided travel brochure. Yeah. And then again, we had SIM cards, right? But when we were saying it, you're saying SIM cords.
Really? SIM cards.
Yeah.
Cards. SIM cards. SIM
Yeah,
cards.
nice.
Yeah.
And then it was just a mix-up of words on this section here. You said, as it's quite inner.
It's
As
quite
it's in, yeah.
quite in a mountainous area.
So it's in quite a.
It is in quite a. It is quite a. So
Mountainous area.
you link quite with a. So we say quite a. Right. Makes sense.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah,
Thank
nice.
you.
And then that was it. Yeah, good stuff.
Thank you,
And we're in good time too.
Yeah.